Psalm 126 verse 1 from the New King James Bible says this: "When the Lord brought back the captives of Zion, we were like those who dream." Just recently, I was at Kibbutz Be'eri, and I met Nicole Yoder from the International Christian Embassy in Jerusalem, and she spoke about the work that they're doing in Kibbutz Be'eri, which was attacked on October the 7th.
So, we've been for 45 years now in Israel and have had the privilege of working pretty much in every corner of the country and all the different sectors of society. And why does that make a difference when we talk about Be'eri? We actually have a shelter here by the synagogue in Be'eri, which has been protecting the synagogue for a while. But they took an outside hire to help them as they started to think about rebuilding. And when Ido came on staff here, there was hundreds of people who were interested in helping Be'eri in some way. And he took a look at just the hundreds and hundreds of names, and he says, I'm never going to get to all these people, but I'm going to look and see who do I know. And so he started looking down through, and for some reason he recognized my name from some little project we did in Jerusalem years before. And so we reconnected, and we understood right away that there was going to need to be a lot of help in the whole region. Obviously, Be'eri, Kfar Aza, Nir Oz are some of the hardest hit communities, as you can see for yourselves. In the beginning of the war, we were doing, lots of practical first response type help, like providing, classrooms for kids who were in the hotels, which we did also for Be'eri. Yeah. Whether it was providing help for trauma. Actually, one of the first groups of retreats that we did for victims of terror for trauma response was the emergency first response team, the security team at Kibbutz Be'eri. So many things, equipment, ambulances. One of those ambulances helped bring the last round of hostages home from Gaza. And so that was a huge honor. But we also knew that there was going to need to be a lot done to rebuild. And that's where we're at right now. With Be'eri, one of the buildings in the center of the kibbutz, which was used as a youth activity center up until the 7th, was totally destroyed because in the battle that Shachar ended up being murdered in, and others of the people who were in the dental clinic, that was right next to the youth activity center. There's a row of kindergartens right between. And the terrorists were using that youth activity center as a kind of place to gather, connect, take orders, go out from there, command post or whatever you want to call it. And so the IDF had to actually destroy the building. The only thing left standing was the security room. And as I shared with my earlier group today, we knew we wanted to do something right away to build from the ground up. Getting emotional because around the world, Israel felt really alone at that time. Because around the world, there was people within days were already accusing Israel of all kinds of evil and genocide. They were accusing them of the things that were done to them as if they had done them. And it felt really lonely here in Israel for a lot of us, for a lot of Israelis and for the rest of us who were here. And I just said to myself, no, now's the time for the Christian community to stand up. Now's the time for us to help rebuild. It says in Isaiah 60 verse 10, the foreigners will rebuild your walls. And I said, that's going to be us right now. And I was really inspired. I forgot his name. Ben from the print house? Ben Suchman. When we did the ground laying for the new neighborhood in Be'eri, one of the things he said was, we thought that the pioneering stage was over for Israel. And, we're having to now make a decision. We now understand it's not over. That we have to decide, are we going to be the espresso generation or are we going to be the next generation of pioneers? And I know I've shared that at different times, so some of you may have heard me say that already, but it really stuck with me. And I really felt like, okay, he challenged his own people with, we don't want to lose what our grandparents and our parents have built, so we need to make a decision. We need to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And I thought to myself, yes, here we are right next to you. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're also going to get to work. And so we immediately started approaching our friends around the world. We want to rebuild this youth activity center. They came to us with a proposal for helping to renovate another building in the community for the elderly. A large number of the people who were murdered on the 7th were also elderly, the founders of the kibbutz. And you didn't mention this, Yarden, but actually many of the people who built this kibbutz were the survivors of a very large pogrom in Iraq. Some were from Europe, some were from Iraq, but they had this history. So whether they fled the Holocaust or whether they fled a pogrom in Iraq, there's people here who are grandparents who their grandchildren faced this awful attack on the 7th. So these elderly people, they need a rehabilitative space, they need a social center, they need a place where they can come together and be strengthened. And so we're going to also be renovating that space for them. The dental clinic that was, now it's demolished, you couldn't see it if you wanted to, but it was the site of this major battle. Only 2 survivors from the dental clinic battle. That's going to be rebuilt as part of a medical complex here in the kibbutz, and ICEJ is going to help rebuild the dental clinic. And so these are some of the projects that are happening here in Be'eri, and we have others around the regions focused on trauma response, whether it's the music therapy center at Kfar Aza or the animal therapy space at Kibbutz Urim or other things that we're doing, and a whole variety of projects that have been in different parts of the country, also in the north. We're just very honored that we have friends around the world who want to stand with us and with Israel, and they want to communicate that we're with you, Yarden. We care. We believe that you have every right in the world to be here, but it's not even about rights, it's about the promises of God, which He promised from 2,500 years ago, and we have such a privilege to be living in the day when it's happening and to be a part of it. And we believe you have a very good future ahead of you. This has been a really rough time, but it's not the final word.
No,
and the best is yet to come. And I think that's what we hear from our friends here at Be'eri. We don't want you to look around at these houses and think that we think, oh, this is it. No. They are looking ahead. They're looking forward. We want to do that with them. And they're going to rebuild, they're going to return. Some may not return, but other people are already signing up to come. Whether it's at Be'eri or whether it's in other kibbutzim here in the area, there were people on waiting lists to be a part of new communities and new neighborhoods that were being built in the kibbutzim here. And there's those who have already called to say, hey, don't take us off the list. We're still coming. We're still interested. And some others who maybe said, well, we aren't going to come now, but others took their place right away and new people wanted to come. And so it's a truly amazing story. What the enemy intended for evil is going to turn out in the end to be a part of rebuilding and expanding this part of the country and other parts as well. And so we're excited to be a part of that. And the ICJ, like I said, has been around here for 45 years already. Before the war, it was about helping Holocaust survivors and helping with Aliyah and integration and a whole variety of other kinds of, social-related projects that just help people get to a brighter future. We didn't stop those things. They're still going on, and they will continue even as, we continue to, we kind of recover from this war. But we're excited, in a sense, to see the good that's going to come, even as we grieve, as you hear, what was as well. And that's the kind of the place the whole country is in right now, I suppose. The war is over. Is it really over? Yes, it's over, but it's not really over, right? Like the war is over in a certain way, but we all know it's not, this isn't the end. It's not like it's over in the sense of, okay, that's behind us and we don't expect there'll ever be another round. We don't think that at all. And in some ways, the hardest part of the war is that the main issues that were at stake at the heart of this conflict were not resolved. They weren't even touched. And the battle over the narrative and over what's going on the internet and all of those things, we've hardly touched that battle. That's still well ahead of us. So there's much yet to be done. But we appreciate everyone who's not just praying, but actively getting involved in giving. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of our friends who've been with us in this. So God bless you. Thank you.